right, everybody, welcome to the K&M 495 Sportscast. As always, this is your boy Mike, and as per usual, I am joined by Kyle Ronick. Kyle, I tried to throw something cool in there. Kyle,
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, your boy Mike's doing very good as well.
No. I mean, I'm doing so much better now that I found out the Nationals made some moves to improve their bullpen.
They are trying, and they made one legit move. It was one legit move, but they got two players, and they didn't have to give up the farm to get it.
Yeah, I mean, we said it multiple times before. You're not going to make any moves in the playoffs if you have a bullpen that is possibly going to be the worst in history. They were on track to be. Yeah, so you have to make some moves before the deadline, and that's exactly what they did, going to get Ryan Madsen and Sean Doolittle. Two guys. Sean Doolittle, fun fact, grew up a Washington Redskins fan, so that's always good to hear.
He's a diehard DC sports fan.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank God. I love that.
We need as many athletes as we can get here in DC that actually love DC. It just gives you that extra passion.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, Sean Doolittle, he's a lefty. That's always good. They both have the capability to be a closer as well. Doolittle comes in. He came to DC with a 3.63 ERA, a 0.716 WHIP. Ryan Madsen, how about the way he's playing? He has a 2.01 ERA and a 0.69 WHIP.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, it's better than what we've had.
Hands down. Yeah, these two, they can legitimately, either one of them could be our closer from here on out. And apparently we're not done making moves.
We're not. I mean, we just lost Joe Ross, a starting pitcher, to Tommy John surgery after, well, they said it was like a week after Dusty had him pitch 120 pitches. And then he was pulled in the next game that he pitched in. He was pulled after I think the third inning or something like that. And then Tommy John is. Right. The thing about Dusty is the past teams that he's been with, the reporters and the people around the media criticize Dusty on trusting pitchers way too much and pushing pitchers over the edge with pitch count.
Right. He's known for working pitchers too hard, keeping them in too long.
Exactly. And that's what you can kind of look at it with Joe Ross and say, maybe that's happening. Because, I mean, we've noticed it with Max Scherzer. That's been happening with Max.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know the one person who he's very strict on is Strasburg.
Yeah.
And as he should be, because Strasburg he could be an ace on just about any other team. And he's had elbow injuries in the past. Obviously, he's had Tommy John surgery. So I can definitely see why he's more cautious with Strasburg. But definitely, like Max, and like look at what he did with Ross. But Max, he definitely overworks him. He does. He does. But I mean, when
we've needed it.
Our bullpen's been so bad that you can't trust them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, but honestly, the bullpen doesn't really need to do all that much. Just not give up 7-run leads like they've been doing all season, because our offense is killing it right now. Daniel Murphy, Bryce Harper, Ryan Zimmerman, and Anthony Rendon are all batting in the 300s and have 80 home runs between the four of them.
Right. It's ridiculous right now.
That is insane.
Harper leads the way with 24. I believe.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he has 24.
It's Rendon and Zim both have 20, and then Murphy has 16 or something like that. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and
how about the way Harper's been playing lately?
I know it, but the thing is, the crazy thing about this is good of a year that Rendon and Zimmerman and Bryce Harper are having. Nobody is talking about Daniel Murphy leading a team with a 340 batting average.
I know, that's crazy. That is just crazy. Ever since we have signed him, literally when he was with the Mets, he had that amazing postseason run. He played so good, and he was just tearing it up. He was hitting a home run every time in the postseason. And then we signed him. It was kind of under the radar. And then last year he was MVP caliber player.
Yeah.
Obviously,
he really was. Yeah, he definitely was in the talks of it.
Yeah,
I mean, he was carrying
continuing that, and nobody's talking about him.
Yeah, he was carrying us last season when Bryce Harper wasn't playing well.
Right, and you know what I think a lot of it is having a star like Bryce Harper.
Yeah,
I mean, just
it definitely
makes
it a lot easier.
Such a phenom in the sport of baseball that you don't really hear about Murphy. But Murphy, I mean, look at the numbers he's putting up. Look at that batting average. Jesus, he's done nothing but play amazing since he's came to DC.
And the Nationals are on a tear right now. They've won 6 straight. They have a game tonight at 10 o'clock in L.A.
Right. Bryce is resting for that, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah. Even though that he's on a 13-game hitting streak. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Did you see him last night? He
homered in the first.
He was so close to hitting for the cycle. All he was missing was a double. But he did score the game-winning run as well.
I did not watch that game. I wake up at 4 in the morning every day for work. I'm not staying up for a 10 o'clock baseball game.
It's West Coast time.
That's not happening.
It's nuts. But it is this series. It's going to kind of suck today with Harper not playing because the Harper versus Trout thing. That's all everybody talks about when these two teams play.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you saw Bryce's home run in the first. In the first, it went right over Trout's glove.
Yep.
Trout tried to rob it. He couldn't do it.
They are possibly one of the two best
They are the two
young
best
players that the MLB has to offer.
Not even just young. They're the
besides Judge. Yeah,
they are the two best players in the MLB.
Yeah, they really are, and they're playing really well. They've been playing well for a long time, and the MLB is really positioned to be in a good spot for years
for the next
and years,
10 years or so.
for years to come.
I mean, you think about it. Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Chris Bryant, these guys. I mean, Aaron Judge.
Speaking of Chris Bryant, he just had what's it called? They went and looked at him today because he had to leave the game with a finger injury. Luckily, nothing's broken.
Was it the same finger?
Yes.
That's been lingering since before since around when All-Star voting started. So. That's huge. I mean, the Cubs, what has happened to them?
They're just fallen off, my friend.
I'm sure Chicago fans don't even care.
They don't. They got the World Series.
We broke the curse.
Yeah, as long as the curse is done. I mean, look at Red Sox fans. As soon as that happened in 2004, they're like, oh, hell yeah.
Who gives a shit?
But then they just went on a tear.
Yeah.
Well, Boston has just been so gifted with championships.
I know, that whole entire area. And what a shitty place, too. Like, talk about a place that doesn't deserve it.
A bunch of racists up in Boston.
Just a bunch of fucking... Like, I hate Boston. I do. And a lot of it's really just because their teams are so good. I mean, the Celtics, such a dominant franchise.
Team that they have.
The Patriots.
Every team that they have. The Celtics, the Patriots,
the Red Sox,
and the Bruins all have championships in the last 10 years.
Right. It's so not fair.
None of the Washington teams have made it, besides the Caps, to the actual championship series before the actual giant championship.
Right? Mm-hmm. God, that was 91.
Yep.
Fuck, man, that's so depressing.
It's our area.
I hate it.
What can I say?
No, it is. I mean, especially I don't know. I feel like in Boston, everybody's so just all of their teams are so good that the sports love is kind of evenly distributed. Diehard Celtics fans, diehard Red Sox fans, diehard Patriots fans, diehard Bruins fans. Here, it's really everybody's just a Redskins fan.
Yep.
And then everything comes second. Everything else is close. Yep. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just how it's always been.
But let's get to the topic at hand. What we've been talking about ever since we started this podcast. Every week we brought it up.
This was the very first thing we talked about on this podcast.
Yes.
Episode 1 when we were just recording from a fucking microphone hooked into a laptop.
Yep, that was.
Look at me now, Dad.
Kirk Cousins. He's going to play on the tag. Both sides are okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and like we said, we knew that he wasn't going to sign it. I mean, we knew, and then of course they leaked some reports, which is just very stupid of the Redskins, very immature, that they offered Kirk the most guaranteed money for a quarterback in NFL history, and Kirk turned it down in May. And you were explaining it outside perfectly to Josh and me, and it makes sense why he didn't accept it. Can we get into that a little bit?
So yes, the Redskins offered him a $53 million guaranteed deal for the next 2 years. But the tag this year and the franchise tag next year, it's estimated to be $34 million. That combines for $58 million. So why would Kirk sign a deal that the Redskins can let him go after 2 years? After 2 seasons, they can let him go for a value of $53 million when he can get guaranteed money for this year and next year, with also being able to sign another long-term deal to get more money, because we know the salary cap is rising, when it's estimated $58 million at the end of next year.
I mean, he's gotten so much, and if he does sign a third franchise tag or transition tag, whatever it will be, which is just unprecedented. That's never happened. That doesn't happen. That's very rare. But if he does, he is robbing us blind.
Yeah.
And he says he's perfectly content playing year to year. He doesn't care. As soon as something goes wrong, he can leave.
It's just, I can't stand it. I just don't understand why my favorite team, the team that I love so much, has to be such an embarrassment to the league. And for people to come out here and say that they don't think Dan Snyder is involved and everything, I call bullcrap on that. No. Because the one thing people say about Dan Snyder is Dan Snyder would leak information on coaches and front office personnel and players that they would think about going to get, and they would wait and listen to what the fans would say just to see maybe we should sign him because it is about the fans or whatever. And so for Bruce to come out with this and come out with that statement, throwing Kirk Cousins under the bus, trying to get the fan base against him, doing the most to do that, shows that they care about how they're viewed, because they are the ones that are getting made fun of right now. So they're saying, it's not us. It's not us. And for them to do that, you know for a fact that Dan Snyder is involved with that because he cares with the view of him or what the franchise is.
Right.
And that just shows you that they do care. They care about how they're viewed. And so that's why they want to throw Kirk under the bus, say, it's not us, it's Kirk. But you're so stupid for letting that information out, because anybody with a brain can see that nobody would sign that when you're guaranteed $58 million for 2 seasons on 2 tags. Why would you sign that deal? Right. Nobody's going to sign that deal.
They're such, like we've said before, Bruce Allen especially is such an egomaniacal asshole. Is that the word? Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Like sometimes, like I just like completely gave up as I was saying that. Egomaniacal. Yeah. No, he's a bad person. You like look at the shit with the Scott McLuhan situation. Look at the shit with the Kirk situation. The way he handles this is just so ridiculous. Like it's so political.
My favorite professional franchise in sports has in one off season publicly smeared 2 employees.
Yeah.
In matter of 7 months, 6 months, 4 months. You
just don't see that with other franchises.
The quarterback is being more professional than the team is. I just don't understand why this is okay and why we can continue to act like this and to act like we are a professional organization that demands respect when you go ahead and you were throwing people under the bus, putting your private information out there publicly. And for them to come out and say that Kirk did not bring a deal back for them, rejected their offer, then didn't bring another contract into the situation, try to counter it. Because Kirk knew, him and his agent both knew, if they were to do that, then the Redskins would have released it to show how greedy Cousins is. But they were smart enough, and Kirk said with his interview with Grant Danny on Tuesday, or Monday, he said, I prayed about it for a couple days, and we decided not to.
Right.
Because he knew, he was like, should I trust them? But at the end of the day, he said, no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to trust them. So for them to expect Kirk to take that kind of deal from them is ridiculous. And for them to expect that normal people with brains, seeing the numbers, are not going to put 2 and 2 together and say, why the hell would they? Why? And they have not treated Kirk with respect whatsoever.
That's literally what me and you have been saying since episode number 1 months ago, back in like April. You can't blame Kirk for not doing for doing what's best for him and for having no loyalty to this owner and this GM. They have treated him like shit. They really have. And on top of that, fucking Bruce Allen calling him Kurt.
Yeah. 5
times in that interview.
Yeah.
The speech that he gave, because it wasn't an interview. He literally called him Kurt. He's been doing that since we drafted him. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Keim came out and he said it's because of his accent or whatever it may be. Like, nobody's corrected him on that. Like, how do you not know the guy who has led you to 2 straight winning seasons, who's broke all sorts of franchise records over the last 2 years, the guy who's supposed to be your franchise quarterback, his highest paid player on the team, obviously, because of these franchise tags, most important position. How do you not know his first name?
It is, I've said this multiple times to multiple people.
It's immature, and it's disrespectful
If RG3 had Kirk's numbers over the last 2 years, he would be the highest paid QB in the league right now.
They would not have hesitated giving him that money.
For them to allow egos and to allow pride to come into contract negotiations and how they deal with their football team is ridiculous, and it's childish. You should not be able to do that. And it sucks that the team that I love the most has to conduct themselves in this type of manner. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Shook asked us last week, what do the Redskins have to do to become a respected organization? I don't think it can ever happen now. I mean, everyone is laughing at us.
Not with the ownership and the GM that we have in place. No.
No.
I can't. No, and then Dan Snyder's proven that it's not going to happen under his watch. It's not. We were a very respectable franchise when Jack Kent Cook owned us.
Yeah.
And now look at us. We're complete opposite. We're a joke.
And one of the reasons Kirk was going to stay with us and wanted to sign a deal was because of Scott. So now Scott's gone. Why does Kirk want to stay?
Kirk loves Jay Gruden. Look, Kirk does love Jay Gruden.
He does, and he said it on Monday that he owes his career to Jay, which is true. I 100% agree with that. But Jay will listen to his bosses 1,000%. He's never gonna.
Oh yeah, no, he's not. That's why. Why do you think that he's the only coach?
Yeah.
In franchise since Dan Snyder's bought the team that has signed an extension that has made it out of his first contract. It's because he'll do what they say he will. He just will.
And Kirk took the high road. I mean, he in his interview, he did not say one bad thing. He said he loves Washington.
That's just Kirk.
He wants to stay in Washington. He really wants to end his career here. And the way that he's been treated ever since he's walked into that door, ever since that draft pick was taken, Dan Snyder and that front office had an issue with it. You know, one thing that blows my mind is I always talk about, I got like people were yelling at me because when Brian Orakpo got hurt in his last year with us, I was really happy. And they're like, why would you be happy about a guy getting injured? And I said, because this is the last pick and the last player of Vinny Cerrato.
Right.
That era is done, and I'm so happy to get beyond that. looking at a stat today, the Redskins' winning percentage under Vinny Cerrato was .459. The Skins' winning percentage under Bruce Allen is .397.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. That brings up a very interesting point, though. And people hated Vinny Cerrato. People hate Bruce Allen.
Yes.
Who would you rather have be our GM right now? And think about it, though. Think about it. Bruce Allen has fucked up some relationships. At least with Vinny Cerrato, you knew he was just dumb and he was
a puppet.
All right,
that's all he was. Yeah.
But Bruce Allen, it's like this guy is just deceiving. He's an asshole. He's a liar. He's a politician. At least Vinny Cerrato, you kind of knew. I mean, I would rather have Bruce personally, just because at least Bruce you can see an effort. He knows what he's doing a little bit. Like there's a little bit of method to his madness. Vinny Cerrato is just a fucking idiot. But you can honestly make the argument that Vinny Cerrato, at least he was a fucking idiot, but at least, like, you expected that from him. You knew that from him. Like, he just wasn't a good football mind.
And it's
Bruce
amazing.
Allen, it's just like he's a conniving snake.
No of these winning teams that win for long periods of time ever conduct themselves this way.
No other
only
franchise conducts themselves like this in football.
The only other teams that do this type of shit, like the Knicks, or the teams that suck, that teams that do
bad,
are
continuously bad.
Yeah, and it's like, it's crazy because it's like the 2 straight seasons of winning has now gotten to their heads, and now Bruce Allen, he's like, oh yeah, we've won 2 winning seasons. It wasn't because of Scott.
He thinks it's him,
and it's so it's so ignorant to have this point of view where you have, like, all of a sudden you're like God's gift to football, and you're looking at Kirk Cousins and say, how dare you turn down an offer from the Redskins? If it wasn't for Kirk, you wouldn't have that winning percentage.
Right.
I can argue that all day, every day to anyone who wants to dispute
100%. 100%.
Without Kirk, look at our defense. Look at our offensive line that we've had.
Look, our offense.
Terrible.
Remember, not only was our defenses always bad, but like our offenses, besides that year with RG3, his rookie year, they could just never really get going. Over the last 2 years, we have repeatedly ranked in the top 5 offenses in the NFL. We've been one of the better offenses in the NFL.
That was the one thing I noticed when RG3 got injured in the 2014 season against the Jaguars. When he ran to the sideline and messed up his ankle, I think he rolled his ankle. And Kirk came in.
He dislocated.
It was like seeing a car that with a governor on it. And it was hard to get going, right? It was hard to get going. But when Kirk came in, it was like that governor was taking off, and all of a sudden, and we were just
took off,
flying past me.
And that was the cool thing. I always thought that was pretty interesting about Kirk. Or like how he's progressed over the last few years. Because Kirk, remember, like when he came in after that, like when he took over the starting job, and then with Colt McCoy ended up starting a little bit later that year, he did really good. And for a couple games, and then it was really bad. Yeah. Then it was really good. But then once Jake Gruden stuck with him, and remember the first half of 2 seasons ago, of 2016, he didn't play that well. He played decent. I mean, he didn't play bad. But then all of a sudden he stayed in. He was like, hey, this is starting to click. Like, this is good. Now he's continuously pumping out, he's producing, and he's doing very well.
What would happen? The one thing about Kirk that I respect so much is after that Giants game in 2015 on Monday Night Football where he threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
And
I was at that game.
Yeah, Jay benched him for the rest of the season and said, hey, you're benched.
Yeah. Kirk and Andrew Sheets.
Kirk at that time looked at himself and he said, I need to get better. So he went and he recruited a guy to a quarterback coach, and he worked with him every single day to get better.
Right.
And then 2015 rolls around, and he has a couple of bad games, but then he explodes. This quarterback rating that this team has never seen before.
Right.
It's so respectful for a player to see how bad he is and want to get better and actually do the work to get there. And now that he's gotten that work done, now that he is good, the team doesn't want to pay him.
Right.
And it sucks. And it's so shitty. And everyone's crying, saying, it's all so much money. We're not going to be able to build around the other team. Look at the Packers. They've had QBs for 20 years now. They can build around their team. This entire time they had the opportunity to build around their team, and they've been able to do it.
And, I mean, Packers also, they have gotten pretty lucky.
Yeah.
With Brett Favre just being the way, like, the Iron Man, and then Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just saying where their money goes.
I 100% agree. Yeah, right. They know what they have and they keep it. They're not letting those guys go anywhere. You ever think you'll see Aaron Rodgers playing another jersey?
No.
You ever think you'll ever see Tom Brady playing another jersey?
Well, obviously that's like a completely different quarterback, because that's like one of the best in the league, obviously.
Right. But you don't get to be the best in the league without some continuity and without staying and without, like...
You don't become good in the league if you don't have a competent QB.
Right. Exactly. Your team just can't be good. It really can. And another thing, Kirk Cousins, like his accuracy is just crazy sometimes. Like look at 2 years ago. He led the NFL in completion percentage, and that was because he was putting the ball on the money. You saw that last year. He was, again, I think he was top 5. He was definitely top 8. And Kirk Cousins is a man.
And the one argument I have is people are like, well, he threw that pick in the Giants game, blah, 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 all that. Look, as stupid as it sounds, I liked that it happened because you know what? That is a growing moment. That is a teaching moment. And that is a moment where in future now, he's going to know in that situation he can't take those risky throws.
Yeah, and I know this is dumb. I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just saying people like Brett Favre, people like John Elway. You don't think that they threw game-closing interceptions during important games? Because they fucking have. Brett Favre especially.
The crazy thing is, all these quarterbacks have bad games sometimes, right?
Everybody does.
For some reason, with Kirk Cousins, it's a huge issue in that, we can't sign him because he makes mistakes.
Right. And a lot of that, honestly, we've talked about it on here before, but I just kind of want to, in football, there's no such thing as the clutch gene. Like we've talked about. I just don't think that there is. I don't know. Basketball, yes, 100%. Like that guy's got it or not. But football's such a team sport that, yes, that throw was dumb by Kirk. That was. But it's a lot easier for him to get into a position where he can do well because you rely on your teammates a lot more. And then somebody who knows the offense so well and somebody who's actually produced, all you got to do is put him in position and he can win you some fucking football games. He's proven that. Yeah. He has. So.
And I've been saying this the past week. He's not the hero we want. He's the hero we need. You know, this is a guy that is not an off the field issue.
Nope.
He works hard. He's devoted to his teammates. His teammates love him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He gets along with everyone. He's very professional. He conducts himself. He works hard.
He's such a dork, and I love it. I love it about him.
Look, he might not have swagger like these other quarterbacks like Ben or Aaron Rodgers or something like that, but I don't care. He's our quarterback. You know, he just fits us.
It's Kirk.
And I just want him to be happy, dude. I want him to feel wanted. Like the real fan base that sees how shitty of an organization this has been for the past 20 years with barely any quarterbacks. Let's solidify it, man. I'm tired of this. And now all the fans for 2 seasons are sitting on their edge of their seat, just hoping it gets done and just waiting for the cliff to come. Just waiting for us to get pushed off the edge when we have to go back to the QB carousel because we have seen that Dan Snyder and his hooligans
imagine if we can't re-sign Kirk this year and we do pretty well. Like let's say that we do maybe we make a wild card at 10-6 or something or 9-7, and then we completely play ourselves out of the top half of the first round, so we can't get one of these quarterbacks that's in this draft. Or in order to get them, we have to trade our entire draft again, like we did with RG3. Like you don't want to start over like that.
No, you don't.
Speaking, real quick,
no, you're good.
Speaking of a hero that the fans might want, I know it's 2 minutes past when he said that. How about Jonathan Allen?
I know.
Nobody's talking about this, man.
Nobody's talking about
Jonathan Allen.
I cannot wait. Training camp starts in a week.
I am so excited. This
friend.
is the time of year where, oh my God, July is the last month without football.
Yes, it is.
Until February.
Training camp starts next week, dude. Training camp starts next week. I'm so freaking happy, dude.
I don't know what that noise is. Dude, did we talk about this? Nobody's really been talking about Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
That's just so weird to me. I don't know. I'm super excited for this team. Do you see Terrell Pryor and Jamison Crowder working out with Jamison Crowder working out with Randy Moss last week?
And
that was hilarious.
Terrell Pryor's worked out with Randy Moss a couple times now.
And it's fucking showing, man. That guy is a freak. Him and Kirk, you see they had a little Twitter exchange the other day. It was funny. It was good. It was. Kirk said something to him about like the way he was catching passes or something. He was like, "I can't wait to do it for you again, man."
You know what he was saying? Like I'll try not to make it so I underthrow you again.
Yeah. It's just you gotta love that.
I've played football with somebody or sports. We play baseball and football with somebody before that's 6'5" and is lean like Terrell Pryor, and they really are.
It's a cheat.
Incredibly fast.
It is a cheat.
And you can't really see the fat. Like you see them covering so much ground, you can't tell.
Right. That's why it's always so weird to me that like people like that, like as long as you just try a little bit, you should dominate. If you're that size, you should. You should just be good at it. That's why it was so surprising to me that like people remember Mike Williams from USC?
Yeah.
He was a beast in USC. And then he had to miss a year, but then he came to the NFL and he just sucked.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're 6'5".
Yeah.
Corners back then were 5'10", 5'11". What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
How is that happening?
I'm really intrigued to see.
Pryor's got a great work ethic.
I've read a tweet that said that this is the most important year for Redskins fans of the past 15 years. This is the most important year for the coaching staff, for the players, for the front office, and for the fans. I mean, that is so freaking true. I mean, so much is on the line. I mean, we can lose a quarterback. We can lose a wide receiver that could possibly be a top 10 wide receiver next year. We can lose a corner. I mean, this is going to be a middle linebacker in Will Compton, who Kirk Cousins, Bo hates Will Compton. He says he's the worst.
A lot of people either love Will Compton or hate Will Compton.
I love Will Compton.
I like
Kirk said that Will Compton is the best leader he's ever played with.
Right. Also, we have a lot of players that do have some questions. Zach Brown only signed a year contract with us. I mean, look at that. This could be, honestly, we were talking about it a little bit. If Josh Norman, or if something happens with Kirk and Josh Norman doesn't play as well as he should, he could just be a cap casualty.
Exactly. And that's my point, is he could easily be traded.
Jonathan Allen could not pan out. Maybe something happens with his arm, maybe something with his shoulder, maybe these other franchises were right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot that could happen this year that could go wrong.
This is a huge year
for us.
This is not just your typical year where, like, everyone hopes that they do well. This is literally jobs are on the line.
This is where teams can turn the corner from just being like a borderline 500 team to making that next step and being a very good team.
Exactly. But we're not going to make that next step when the team president throws the starting quarterback under the bus a week before training camp.
I know.
Who does that? Are you daft? Like,
Bruce Allen does that. Bruce Allen.
I think it's Snyder, because
it's both of them.
My dad's business partner had a business meeting with one of Snyder's companies, and they literally walked out of that meeting halfway through because of how shitty of people they were.
Right.
And left that meeting. I mean, I honestly believe people can talk all day because Snyder cares about how he's viewed. I think that he is sitting in the shadows and he is talking all this. Cooley on 980 came out in defense of Bruce Allen, of why Bruce Allen said this.
Of course he did.
Remember when we speculated? We said that
we know why
we
Cooley
said
came
that
out
Bruce
and said that.
We said that Bruce told Cooley what to say about Scott.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's happening. You are seeing it to a T of what's really happening in that building.
We talk about the Redskins own 980. Chris Cooley is the Redskins 980 guy.
He's now a puppet, and it sucks.
And it sucks
I love
Chris Cooley, man. He was such a I loved Chris Cooley. I still do. I do like. Look, he has a very interesting viewpoint on things.
And I understand the argument about releasing how much the contract was. I understand the argument basically saying that, would you rather the Redskins leak the information to a reporter afterwards, or would you rather the Redskins come up front and put it on there?
Right.
I say just leak it, just like any other team does, because look at the statements from the Pittsburgh Steelers about Lev Bell's franchise tag.
Yeah.
Look at Kansas City Chiefs' message about Eric Berry's franchise tag.
Right.
Those are professional statements. They do not throw their players under the freaking
nobody
bus.
does that.
And there's a reason that the animosity and the attitude is there, and that is because Dan Snyder does not want to be wrong. He does not want the Shanahans to be right, and it sucks that the pride has to get involved with this shit.
Yeah.
Sign the damn QB, Dan. What the fuck, dude?
Let it out, Kyle.
Oh, I'm sorry. It just makes me so angry, man.
Hey, no, I feel you. Hey, every Redskins fan understands 100%. Back to training camp.
Yeah, sorry. Back to training camp. I'm really excited for this year.
Now, what? Something I was thinking of. What is a position battle that you were kind of looking for? Me personally, I am very excited to see what happens with Spencer Long at center, and what we end up doing with left guard with Sean Lavelle. And another one, of course, this has been the fucking question for the past few years. Nose tackle. What is anybody?
I would say legit just a defensive line. I want to see a defensive line shape out.
Are any of these guys going to take over and actually be a pure nose tackle? Because none of those guys are pure nose tackles. No. None of the guys that we brought in this year.
But
Phil Taylor. But Tom Sewell, exactly.
He promised Minuski and Jay Gruden that he'd find a nose tackle, and I trust him. I really do. I'm really excited to see how that defensive line shapes out. I mean, we don't need you to be a pass rusher. We just need you to clog the goddamn middle and make sure the QB cannot rush up into the pocket. Yeah, that's the one. What is the one issue with the Redskins? Is that Ryan Kerrigan, he gets around the edge. But what does that QB do? He just steps up in the pocket and runs.
And another thing, our fucking run defense is always so bad. If you have somebody who just does their assignment, that'll be so huge for us. Just do it.
Just get me 3 guys that weigh 350 pounds that do not get moved, and just put them right there in the middle, and we're good.
Nobody will do shit. Nobody will do anything.
I'm also really excited to see how Junior Collette does.
So we've talked about Junior a few times, and I am super excited for him to come back. If next week happens and I get a third fucking message from Bleacher Report or from Redskins saying Junior Collette tore his ACL again, I swear to God I'm gonna cry. I cry a lot. I do cry a lot. But I will. I probably would cry for him, dude. The dude worked so hard.
I wouldn't cry, but I would feel so bad for him. He got a Redskins tattoo. He loves the Redskins and Scott for bringing him on here. And, I love that because that was the one thing I've been saying for years is that we need guys here that have the passion, that really care about Washington and just love being part of the organization. Yeah. And it's really hard to do with how shitty of an organization it is and how it's ran. But just for the fans, because we are one of the most passionate fan bases.
100%.
And
100%.
I just want to see guys care as much as the fans do. If I was to talk to a professional ball player, I would say to him, look, every fan that's watching the game imagines themselves in your position on the play, going 110%, trying to make every play possible because that's what they want. And I understand that's hard to do because I've played football before. But you have to understand where these guys come from and why the fans are so passionate in the way, because they feel like if they were on the field with your abilities, they could do it. So go out there with the same passion that these fans do. They're wanting to kill it on every single play.
Right.
Just show the passion of Washington.
Somebody who I'm super pumped to see with their passion. They're a player that always gets something going. Sua Cravens. Cravens. I am excited to see that transition to a full-time strong safety.
Yeah.
Because when he was on the field, he made some huge plays for us playing a new position. And if this guy can really come in and solidify the strong safety, that would be fucking huge for us.
It would be huge.
That would be so big for us.
If Swearinger and Sua Cravens can lock down the safety positions, I mean, that is something that we have not had
since Sean Taylor.
15 years? No. Sorry, 10 years.
No.
10 years.
About 10 years.
Yeah, about 10 years.
10 years.
I mean, seriously, the safety position has been a floodgate. I mean, it has been such a shitty position for us for so long. And if we can get some legit consistency there, I mean, imagine that for this defense.
Right. Another person who I am very excited to see is Zach Brown. I've been a fan of Zach Brown since he was at North Carolina, just because he's such an athletic freak. I remember it was him and Bruce Carter. They played together, and they're freaks. And if Zach Brown can legitimately make some noise, I think after last year, being second in the NFL in tackles, he could legitimately make his way up into one of the top middle linebacker spots. Yeah. And that is a perfect fucking segue.
Yes,
right now.
My man.
See that? I think weird. I'm gay. No. So top 5 middle linebackers in the NFL. So this isn't necessarily people who have been the best and are the best right now. This is people who we feel the best about and who could have a huge year going into 2017. Mm-hmm. The 2017 season could be theirs. This is both 3-4 middle linebackers and 4-3 middle linebackers, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll start off the list at number 5. Baltimore Ravens boy, C.J. Mosley. I think he's going to have a very good year. Yes. There was, I will say, at the end, there are 2 people who I just left outside the top 5. I just think C.J. Mosley, this could be the year that he really breaks out. How's that for you, Chris Shook?
Yeah, he's good, but my number 5, I believe that he should be higher up just because he is a local guy. He went to Suitland. He beat Damascus High School in the state championship.
Right.
Is Navarro Bowman.
Right.
A guy that, even without Patrick Willis, has really stabilized that defense. I mean, they lost so many crucial pieces, and he got injured last year. I feel like he's one of the middle linebackers that gets forgotten.
Yeah.
But I feel like he definitely deserves number 5.
Right.
If he's not jumping up.
Right. Navarro Bowman is a monster. I have him a little bit higher on the list just because it's Navarro Bowman. And when he is fucking healthy, he is
a monster. He is a great middle linebacker.
He's so good. At number 4 for me, I have Dante Hightower.
Okay.
Who do you have at number 4?
Number 4, I have Derek Johnson.
Hey, he was somebody. I have him just on the outside, but he's somebody. Derek Johnson, he's been so consistent for so long. He's so good.
He is a legit middle linebacker because a lot of the aspects of middle linebacker for me is the communication of the defense, it's the leadership of the defense, and still being able to produce.
Right.
And Derek Johnson is definitely
he's somebody too. In the beginning of his career, he was just sort of an athlete. Like it's kind of cool to see how, like, with age and he's lost his athletic ability, that he's still able to be so productive and that he's still able to be so effective. Because he just learned the game and he just picked things up a little bit. So I agree. He was right on the cusp for me. For me, number 3. Ooh, I'm sorry, I can't even see.
Yeah, who is your numero 3?
Numero 3, I have Navarro Bowman.
Navarro Bowman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you have at number 3?
Number 3, I have Danny Trevathan.
Ooh, I like that.
He's now with the Bears. The Bears are slowly getting a little bit better. The defense is still sketchy.
Yeah, but people forget about. He was very good.
Yes,
he has been
in Denver.
Very good for a long time.
He's a very fast middle linebacker. He's not the type that's going to come up and and stonewall you all the time. He does make some good hits, but he is a very smart middle linebacker. He's fast. He can get to the outside, just a lot like Zach Brown, just a little smaller. But he can also fill the hole. He can get in there and take on the lead block to make sure somebody comes against a running back.
Very good as well. Number 2, I think we can both agree 2 and 1. Yes. Probably. Number 2, I have Bobby Wagner.
Yes.
You have Bobby Wagner as well.
And my man
he's a
crush.
beast.
And my man
then
crush
number 1,
I
think he's everybody's fucking man crush, man. He's mine. He's
Luke
one
Kuechly.
of them. Luke Kuechly. Dude, how good is he?
He's amazing.
Remember last year, I forget what game it was, when he hurt his leg. They said that he hurt his leg.
I think it was his shoulder.
It was one of those, but I remember them saying his leg. And I remember just looking at it and being like, dude, that guy's got a concussion. And because I didn't see anything happen to his leg. I know a lot of shit can happen when your muscles are flexing and shit, but I was like, dude, that guy got a concussion. And then he was crying, getting carted off. They said it was his leg or something. And I was like, that's weird that happened.
It was definitely a concussion,
and it 100% was. Apparently, they have been, the Panthers, there's a rumor going around that Kuechly was crying because he thought his career might be done because that was like number 8 concussion for him. Because apparently there's a rumor going around that he has had a bunch of concussions in practice and shit. Being a middle linebacker, being a banger like that, taking on people like Jonathan Stewart.
That's what people don't understand. That's what people don't understand. You look at these players and you see what they do in the game, but you understand that obviously a lot of the contact has gone away from practice. Yeah. But it's still
if you're a middle linebacker like that, you're taking on offensive linemen and tight ends.
So can I transition this real quick?
Yes.
So this is how I feel. A lot of people. One of my good friends on Facebook. Though I also do the drunkies with, huge Steelers fan, and he was livid that the Steelers and Le'Veon Bell did not get into a contract before the deadline for him to be franchised. And I said to him, it is a blessing that the Steelers did not offer him a multi-year deal, because my argument to him is all the time.
Look at running backs.
Look at the running backs. And why would you offer a long-term deal? Just hear me out. I understand he's the best in the game and he's awesome. Yeah. But the average career expectancy for a running back is 3 years. That's
every NFL player.
I understand. And I get it. He's the best in the NFL. You can't replace him. That's fine. But what happened when Lev got hurt in that playoff game? Old D'Angelo Williams came in and ran well. Yeah. Really well. And so why would you sacrifice money from your cap for a player that you can put somebody else in and get maybe a half of the potential?
But it still works out.
Exactly.
And that's a very good. You see it every fucking year with running backs. Somebody hits the wall. Somebody eventually does. Mm-hmm. And in some people, that wall comes earlier, depending on how much punishment they've taken. Sometimes it comes a little bit later in their career. But every year, it's going to happen within the next 3-4 years. Of course, that'll probably happen.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are getting hit every single play, dude.
5-6 year deal. I completely agree with that. One more. We can do another top 5 list right now as well.
That's fine. Okay.
Top 5.
Because we're about to get into the caller soon.
We are. And we're also, before that, or not before that, but at the end, we are going to get into some Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Top 5 offensive line units in the NFL. I'm sure me and yours are not exactly the same. I'm sure there's a lot. There's actually you can make the argument for a few different teams.
Yes.
I will start this out. First of all, I'm going to put on my just missed.
Okay.
Just missed. I have the Steelers and the Browns.
Wow.
Just missed. Browns offensive line is very good now.
I completely and 100% disagree.
With the Browns offensive line?
Yes.
How so?
Because they are my number 2.
Okay. I thought you were about to say they weren't good. No, they're fucking amazing.
They are number 2.
They're going to be very good. So number 5 for me, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Who do you have up there?
Number 3,
Pro Football Focus. Number 5.
Number
I have
5.
the Philadelphia Eagles. By the way.
5, I have the Packers. Even though they let go of J.C. Treader, I mean, with having those bookend tackles that they have, David Bakhtiari,
and Bulaga.
I have a friend that's a Packers fan who always argues with me and says that Bakhtiari is a better left tackle than Trent. And
get fucked.
No, but I tell him all the time it's the passing and the running blocking that just separates him, because Bakhtiari is not a good run blocker like Trent is. Right. But that's why the Packers are number 5 for me.
Right. Number 4. I have the Washington Redskins at number 4.
I have the Eagles number 4.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you? See, I love Redskins offensive line.
I wasn't going to put them up there just because of question marks with Sean Leval and with Spencer Long.
Hey, but to me, Bill Callahan, and not just everybody, Bill Callahan. No, I know. I didn't want to sound like a homer either. Yeah. That's why I was tempted to put him up a little bit higher, but I don't want to be fucked. But year 3, we've talked about it. That's where Bill Callahan's teams usually shine his offensive lines. With those 2 bookend tackles that I feel is top 3 tackle duos in the league with Trent Williams and Morgan Moses. Brandon Sheriff has the potential to not only be a Pro Bowl player, but an all-pro right guard.
Yes.
And then if Spencer Long can take another step at center, that's huge. That's 4 offensive line positions you have filled.
Yes.
Then left guard. So, yeah, I mean, you can make, obviously, people, you can say whatever. I'm being a homer, and I put the Redskins at 4.
I know, but those 4 pieces last year still weren't able to run the ball effectively in the red zone. And that's the one reason why I can't put them up there. The only reason, because they were great in pass blocking. That helped with Kirk getting the ball out quick. I can't put them in the top 5 yet. Not for me.
The Redskins' yards per carry.
It was really good, but not in the red zone. In the red zone, it's stonewalled.
Our entire team sucked in the red zone.
Yeah, that's very true.
On both sides.
But, I mean, it doesn't help the quarterback. It doesn't help the team when you have to be able to run the ball in the red zone.
I don't think it was necessarily even just us. I just think it was shitty play calling in the red zone.
I don't think so.
It was 100%.
If you're able to run play action, so in the red zone, if you're running the ball and it's getting stonewalled with 2 yards, I just can't, for 2-3 yards of carry, you can't expect the play action to work because teams aren't scared of that in the red zone. The only way you're able to pass the ball in the red zone is by play action.
I understand that's 100% true, but so you have the Packers over the Redskins.
Yes.
How? With their run blocking.
With the run blocking, I understand. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're making a good argument right now. But they do so well with Aaron Rodgers at being able to manipulate the pocket, let him do what he needs to do, and with having no running back and to have a stability at the running back position that with the running ball that they had last year, I have them over the Redskins. That's the only in the red zone they did really well. Ty Montgomery did really well for them last year at running back, and that is a wide receiver converted. I can't say the same for the Redskins.
Fat Rob did very well.
Well, I'm saying if they had a wide receiver converted to running back,
nobody could. Ty Montgomery, he's a freak, but that's what just. I mean, for me,
I think that's benefits from the offensive line.
Those two tackles, man. I would take them over just about anybody in the NFL, and that plays huge. But
I just can't. I've been a homer in every single top 5.
I know.
I can't be one
I didn't
here.
want to do it. Like I was like, fuck. But then I was also like, this is the one position group that I feel really strongly about.
Yeah. Okay.
But okay. So number 3 for me. I have the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, I have the Titans.
Do you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
See, I have the Titans at 2. Titans, by the way, they're right. Reds. I know I was just talking about the Redskins tackles. Titans tackle tandem technically might be better.
Yes.
Just
with
because
Taylor
they're right
Lewan,
tackle.
Oh
yes.
my god.
Oh my god. They are so good.
That guy's like 6'7". He's a monster.
They're both so good. It's 2 white boys.
Yeah.
2 white boys.
I mean, we've talked about the Titans multiple times, and they've had such a good running attack, and that just shows how good of offensive line you are on how you run the ball.
Right.
And that is a team that is built for winning.
They are, and I want to hear a little bit about the Browns. The Browns, by the way, people might joke at this. You have the Browns at number 2, right?
Yes.
Browns. I've been telling people, Browns' offensive line is fucking good. It's not bad. Joe Thomas, first of all, Hall of Fame left tackle.
Hugh Jackson understands and knows that if you're going to have a mediocre quarterback, you have to have a stellar running game. And getting J.C. Treader, Kevin Zeitler from the Cincinnati, where he was offensive coordinator at, and having Joe Thomas there. Right. I mean, they have a rookie right tackle. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they have a really good offensive line heading into this season.
Right.
For fantasy-wise, Isaiah Crowell is somebody who's very high on my fantasy-wise this year because I think that that offensive line is going to be able to make moves.
And on top of that, they also, last year they picked, what was his name? Cameron Fleming in the first round. Mm-hmm. Not the 2017 draft, 2016 draft. Yeah. He's a player. He didn't play too great last year, but he's somebody he can play center. He can play tackle. Mm-hmm. He can play guard. He can go anywhere. So even if somebody doesn't really pan out, they have an injury, they have a guy who can step right in there and play all 5 positions on the offensive line. So that's huge. I mean, they're great. And obviously, I think we both agree at number 1. I hate to fucking say it. Dallas Cowboys.
No.
At number 1.
Nope, that's not who I have at number 1.
Who do you have at number 1?
I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
Absolutely.
Cowboys are the best offensive
Charlie Villanueva at left tackle at fucking 6'7", 6'8".
He is overrated.
Marquise Pouncey at the center position.
He is not better than Travis Frederick.
This goes in 1,000% right into my argument about Lev Bell not signing a multi-year deal, is because that offensive line is so good that it doesn't matter who you have running the ball for.
I don't think they even come close to sniffing the Cowboys' jockstrap. They're good.
Oh, no, they do.
Are good.
They're up there.
No.
Oh, yeah, they're up there.
Pro Football Focus also rated the Eagles as the best offensive line in the NFL.
Shit, I'm trying to think of who the Steelers' right guard is. He's
David DeCastro.
Yeah, David DeCastro.
He's a beast.
He's a beast with Marquise Pouncey,
he's
who's an
but
all-pro.
He's not better than Zach Martin.
That's fine.
None of them are better than anybody on the Cowboys.
That's fine. But I cannot put the Cowboys up there with the question mark and moving Lyle Collins to the right tackle. You don't know what's going to go on there. Getting their left guard now is a no-name guy.
Who's the Steelers right tackle?
Steelers right tackle? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, Steelers do have a fucking very good offensive line. They do. I'm just talking shit, but for me, how can you not go Cowboys? Look at what they've done.
I just think that,
and I fucking hate saying it.
I just think that there's going to be chinks in the armor this year.
I hope so.
And with the Cowboys, I'm sorry to say this, but I honestly believe the Cowboys are soft. And
they are.
And as soon as people start seeing a chink in the armor,
right,
then they're going to start hitting that.
First of all, don't bring race into this.
They're going to start hitting on that hard, and they're not going to run the ball like they have like that last year. But the Steelers, I just really respect Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin is the perfect head coach,
dude,
and I just don't think that offensive line is going to play consistently all year, and they're going to be a stellar offensive line. They just work really well together.
They're very good. They're like a well-oiled machine when they play together. But then again, so are the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are all pro.
Right, but they got rid of Doug Free.
But Doug Free was the weak link on that offensive line.
But now they have to move Lyle Collins over, who hasn't played right tackle.
Well, he has at LSU. He did, but
he was left tackle at LSU.
Well, yeah, but he started off his career at right tackle.
Yes, but I mean,
it's been a while.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like, you still have question marks.
It's going to be he's talented enough to do it. He's good. Yeah. He's very big, and honestly, it's not going to be that much hard to be better than Doug Free. I don't think. But no, hey, I fucking love it because I hate the Cowboys. To be honest,
I mean, if he gets a hold on every play, then yeah, sure, he's going to be great.
Yeah, hell yeah, everybody can be great.
Right.
Yeah. What do we want to get into next?
I wanted to get into the running backs for the Redskins.
Yes.
In particular. With Samaje Perine.
Yes.
With
I'm so
Rob
excited
Kelly.
to see him during training camp.
I think Rob Kelly has come in and trimmed down. He's lost weight.
Apparently he's offended right now. He's like, why is everybody talking about this rookie and nobody's fucking talking about me after what I did last year?
Yeah. I think
he should be.
I think this is a guy that can come and light the league on fire. Yeah. Hopefully, just give me something.
Yeah.
I mean, this offseason has been so tumultuous, and it's just like
something. Just give us something.
Just give me something to be happy about. I've been pissed since January. As soon as this McLuhan shit started happening, I was like, this is the worst thing possible.
God. I know. We're like, how could it get worse? No, thanks.
The Redskins just know how to fuck shit up. We're always on the wrong side of history. There's always some crazy thing going down in history, and we're always on the wrong side of it.
Right. And it's so fucking embarrassing. It sucks. But anyway, Bleacher? I know, fuck Bleacher Report, but they made a pick for a sleeper from a few teams, and somebody they thought Chris Thompson was on there. They think that Chris Thompson can be just as a receiving back.
They think that
he's something right. Well, not even from necessarily a fantasy standpoint, but just from a standpoint of somebody who could actually surprise and put up some numbers this year. They think Chris Thompson could be.
Yeah,
I like Chris Thompson. He's a perfect third down back.
Look, the thing is, it's a trap. Because Chris Thompson has had injury problems. And so as soon as he has like
5'9", 195 pounds.
His subpar year, as soon as everyone's going to start saying, he's going to do well, he's going to do well, blah, blah. This is when he gets injured.
Right, watch. Yeah, I fucking hope not, but that's how it always works.
It just sucks because I know we're going to have injuries.
Yeah, every team does.
I know, it's going to suck.
But Jay Gruden said, he was like, look, if Chris Thompson was about an inch taller and he had maybe about 20 more pounds on him, I would run that guy every goddamn play. He just loves, obviously he's hyping it a little bit, but he just loves his style, but he's just too small, man. He's too fucking small, too brittle.
I'm just so ready.
He's got those little brittle hands.
I can't wait for training camp, dude. Just for some football, hands. Man. Football.
I'm so fucking happy.
I know.
I'm so excited for this.
I can't wait for the it's by the second preseason game, we're going to be begging for the season to start.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just want to see football again.
So do I. I'm so fucking pumped for it, dude. This is the time of year where it really kicks in.
Yeah, and our first game is against the Eagles.
Yeah, week 1.
Fuck the Eagles.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
Kirk owns the Eagles. Dude.
Oh, dude, we have fucking demolished the Eagles over the last few years. Oops. We butt rammed the Eagles.
I just hope that we have to be able to run the ball well, and it just sucks because the last 2 seasons it's been stonewall every time we try to run the ball.
Yeah.
And if we can
we'll be better this year. We will be. We have to be in the running game. We just do.
And we're putting a lot of trust into your guy, Bill Callahan. I love Bill Callahan, but I'm not giving him any praise yet.
He is the best coach on our team.
No praise for Bill Callahan yet. Not until I see.
Remember how big of a joke our offensive line was?
That was with RG3 back there.
It doesn't matter. They were the only person who was good was Trent.
Right, but
look at what he has done with people like Morgan Moses and Brandon Sheriff and Spencer Long, getting him ready to play center.
But you can, yes, they're always going to attest it to Bill Callahan.
But that's his track record. He's done it everywhere.
Right. You're right, but I'm talking about as a whole cohesive unit. I need to see dominance for me to give him praise because he has a top 5 pick at right guard. He has a first-round pick at left tackle. Yes, Morgan Moses was a project and has worked out well. And yes, you're absolutely right. He deserves credit for that.
Same with Spencer Long.
If Spencer Long can come out and ball out this year, and we have an honestly legit unit that is putting up huge numbers, yes, I will give praise to Bill Callahan.
I think we will. Good. And it's going to happen, and you're going to be so happy when it happens.
Freaking better, dude.
I hope so. I know. It's so hard to be, like, optimistic with the Redskins.
We can't keep leaning on Kirk to get us yardage.
I know. That's a fucking joke. That's a joke. We're going to get ready to take some callers here in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Some callers.
All right, let's get into some callers. We have Mike Hoffman calling in, who's going to be, I'm not sure if I can release it yet, but he's going to be on a podcast here soon. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm on a podcast already. It's called, DC Sports Talk. It's just we kind of have fun. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. It's a very fun
really
podcast.
Just have fun, but down the road, there's going to be some bigger news that I can't really talk about yet.
Just get into it a little bit.
No,
I know
we can't. So I wanted to ask you, Mike.
About it. That's what I can say.
Hey, there you go.
I wanted to ask you, because you are a big, passionate Redskins fan like I am, just like me and Mike, and I wanted to ask how you felt about the Kirk Cousins contract and him being franchise tagged again.
I mean, I think it made sense for both sides, and I think that at the end of the day, I think that the facts come down to that it made sense for both sides. We should have given him a contract a few years ago. But what if we had overpaid? What if we had overpaid him at that point, and he didn't turn out?
Right.
He would have overreacted, and this is a new. People should be excited about this because this is a new era for Redskins being cautious about what they're going to spend their money on, and potentially handicapping the team down the road. Whereas Dan would have just thrown $100 million at Albert Haynesworth.
Yeah, well,
not that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, apparently we did throw we did throw a big sum of money at Cousins. So it is also though, I mean,
not over the top money though.
It was right in line with what people are supposed to make. Yeah, I mean, it's what the market dictates, definitely.
People see that it was going to be this big rich contract, the highest paid this and that, and they forget that the highest paid quarterback is the last one to get a contract.
Right.
Yes.
Every year that changes. Every year.
You know what I mean?
See, but Mike, I would make the argument that if I were to ever want Dan Snyder to throw the $100 million to open his checkbook up, it would be for the most important position in professional sports, being the QB position. Because this is something we have not had in 20 years. And if we're going to throw money at a position like this, I would rather take the gamble on this position than any other position out there right now.
I mean, I feel like we could have offered him a great amount of money, and he probably wouldn't have taken it because I believe him that he wants to see where our franchise is going before he commits long term.
Right. That's something that we
honestly, who can blame the guy? I mean, look at the dysfunction, and we're not the kings of stability here. It's not really our thing.
Right. Exactly. That's something that me and Kyle both talked about on this. Is that you can't really blame the guy for not doing it. Like I wouldn't either.
That brings up another question. If Scott was here, do you think that Kirk would have signed that deal?
I don't know, because it sounded like, I don't know that it would have been offered to him if Scott was here, because they said that Scott initially wanted to give him the $15 million a couple years ago, whatever, and as approached 20, apparently Scott wasn't comfortable with that.
Right.
That's a very good perspective on that. I
think Scott. Honestly, I believe that Scott would have seen that offer from Cousins camp last year being $20 million. I think he would have hopped all over it then, because I mean he saw it the year before. He saw the pattern rising, and he said that we got to take care of this right now because it's cheap. He would have known that $20 million was bread and butter right there, and I honestly believe they would have taken that offer, but because of
I mean, this is another thing where I feel like our fans, assuming. Like you have, I'm just going to call them out, man. 24/7 Redskins on Facebook.
Dude, oh my God.
People like that give pseudo sports journalism.
Right.
And it's like their opinion, but they present it as fact.
Yeah.
And then all our fans. That's why if you ever see me on their page, I'm trolling them.
Yeah.
I'm always trolling them.
Just for that, I am gonna look. I follow them every time they post something. I'm just like, oh my god, they're just ridiculous.
It's the worst.
Like,
and then they defend themselves by going, well, it's an opinion piece. Well, that's not how you presented it. You know our fans are excited.
Right.
You know they're hungry to win. You know they're going to believe the media because the media is supposed to be insiders, and they're irresponsible enough to spin it with their own opinion instead of just looking at what was said.
right.
Yeah.
Now, I believe
Bruce,
those.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. I believe those 24/7. I think that they have one for just about every NFL franchise. And like I remember,
They do.
like last year, people calling them out because they had a Dolphins article. It was like they had the headline for the Redskins and the thumbnail was for the Redskins, but it was a Dolphins article that they just like shared from the Dolphins 24/7.
Anytime somebody is up on the market, they'll present it to all 31 teams that aren't the team that just got rid of them.
Right. Exactly.
And they have a 24/7 sports for each individual team, and so what they're doing is they like to ping things back and forth and create their own narratives, which is, whatever. I see whatever. What annoys me more is when like CSN does it because
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, why?
fake news.
It just sucks because there is fans out there that are very passionate but aren't as educated as your normal fan that reads all these articles. So when they see these articles, they immediately see the headline and they start making assumptions. I mean, how many times have we gotten into arguments with people based on a headline because they haven't even read the article yet?
Right.
Every day.
It happens all the time.
On social media for you.
Who believes that Brian Mitchell would sit there and pose something to them that's largely his opinion, because he's an ex-player.
Yeah.
He's in the know. But when he says things that are his opinion, people say it as if he was, it's like gospel, like he was in the room when the contract went in.
Yeah.
Right.
I believe Bruce, and I believe Kirk too. I believe Bruce offered him this. I believe Kirk didn't counteroffer, and Kirk explained why he didn't, and Bruce explained why he didn't offer more. And I think everybody's just happy with it. $24 million is a really good amount to make for 1 year when you're Kirk Cousins. I mean, let's face it, the bubble on the QB market is insane. I mean, so
Yeah, he's getting guaranteed money.
important.
That's the thing. Yeah, no matter what, I mean, if you want to re-sign this guy or you want to re-sign a player of his caliber, you're gonna have to empty out your pockets. Yeah, I mean, you just are. And then it does just come down to if you want him or not, if you think that he's worth it.
Yep, you have to make that choice, and we've gotten burnt so many times making that choice with different players. And no, they're not the same guy as Kirk. They're guys that came from somewhere else.
Right,
And they're supposed
right.
to be a big deal, but our fans were going nuts over that. They hated it.
Yeah.
And now, if we're going to be cautious, they hate that. Like, come on.
Remember Adam Archuleta?
I just feel like we're cautious at the wrong time. Like the one time where you're not supposed to be cautious is when we're cautious.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Well, I mean, from what Kirk said, he wouldn't have signed it, whatever they offered him, because he wants to see some stability before he
Right.
goes and,
that's what I've been. Yeah, can't blame the guy.
On his end to spend his career here.
Right. And that's a smart move because he has all the leverage. He has the ability to tell them, no, I want to see this, this, and this. That's why I feel like if Scott was still here, there was more of a chance that he gets a contract done this year. Them getting rid of Scott, because Scott was the one behind Kirk, the one believing in Kirk, besides Jay Gruden. And once they let him go, I felt like Kirk really took a step back and was like, do I really want to be a part of this team of people who have never believed in me?
And for Kirk, to defend Kirk for a minute, the original guy that believed in him was Shanahan.
Yes.
And his butt got fired for believing in him over RG3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So if you're
Such
Kirk,
a clusterfuck.
That the new regime seems to really be on your side, but you're like, for how long? Is this going to be until I sign a contract? And really, if you look at that contract, it was only 2 years. They could have walked away after 2 years, and he wouldn't have made any more than he's going to make this year and potentially next year on the tag. It's like,
Yeah.
There's no reason for it.
It was a great amount of money, but it wasn't like something that made him go, oh, God, I got to sign here. And then on top of that, I believe Kirk is a guy who really is smart, and he wants to be somewhere where it's stable and he can do something. And, you can't really hate a guy for that.
Yeah, I feel like it 100% goes down to stability and him feeling wanted, because ever since he's been here, they haven't wanted him. Every step of the way, high school, college, he was not supposed to be the one. Yep. He's worked his way, he's grinded his way, and he's looking for the recognition of what he's done, the hard work he's put in. I feel like that's a lot that goes into it.
He's bet on himself every step of the way, and he's won every time.
Exactly.
Right. And
all
he
right,
has
Mike.
no problem betting on himself.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I thank you for calling in, my brother. You are our first caller, by the way, so congratulations.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, sweet, man. It's my honor. It's my pleasure, man. I'm going to have you guys over on my show, and, when we can talk more about the future and how exciting it is.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yes,
hey, and one more time, what was the name of your podcast?
Right now, it's right now. It's called DMV Sports Talk.
DMV Sports Talk.
You can find it on YouTube. It's me and my buddy Austin. There's some comedy. There's some Redskins. We talk about everything. We just mess around.
Well, I'll make sure to share that on our page as well, Mike. So I appreciate you calling in, my brother. We'll talk again next week, hopefully.
I'll see you on the Book of Face, my friend.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.
That's fun. I like taking callers.
I love taking callers. It's something that we are definitely going to do from now on because that was fun.
The phone lines are going to be open.
Exactly.
Just like my leg.
So, Mike, any parting thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I'm fucking pumped for training camp right now. I'm so excited.
You're going on vacation next week, aren't you?
I will be here next week. I leave on Friday.
Okay.
Not this Friday.
So you're going to be fine. Okay.
Right. So I'll be here. And then the next 2 weeks, I'm going to have to fucking Skype in or phone talk or just
Yeah, because I was thinking that maybe if we can get your Skype going, if we can get your call in with the mics and everything, make it sound great and everything, what if we do like a whole show just on callers?
I'm down for that. Definitely. Okay. Yeah, I'll be there. We got the beach house. I'll have my own little place that I can set up.
Okay.
And, I'll be naked the whole time so I can be on the screen.
Naked and boozed.
Naked and boozed. Well, we've talked about it the last 3 weeks anyway. Next week we're gonna get in a little bit more into the McGregor Mayweather.
Yeah.
A little bit, not too much, because there's really not too much to fucking talk about.
Right. There isn't. I mean, it's just them talking shit to each other. It's just
which, by the way, has been fucking amazing.
Yeah, it has been.
That has been so good.
Yeah.
I have the biggest man crush right now on Conor McGregor. I do. I ordered the tank top. I ordered
the fuck you tank top.
The fuck you pinstripes tank top. That's coming. It'll come soon, I think. I don't know. Anyway, you got any thoughts about this coming week? I mean, obviously, so we've been saying for a long time, we need to get a deal done with Kirk and the Nats need to fix their bullpen. We got 1 or 2. That's not bad.
Yeah.
At least we think we fixed our bullpen. We've tried. We've made a legit move. But the Kirk thing is depressing as fuck. But, I mean, you got anything that you're exciting about now that those 2 things are
Otto Porter signed his contract with the Wizards, and Ted Leonsis came out today, and he thinks that he knows that John Wall's going to sign his contract, his max deal, so his super max deal. So hopefully that gets done in the next week or so. And we don't know the timetable, but hopefully that gets done.
No more injuries to our pitching staff. Anybody. No more.
No more.
Fuck, I can't take it.
No more.
I can't take it.
Well, Michael,
you cuck.
It's been a blast.
Kyle, it's always a blast with you.
Thank you, man.
Always a blast. Katie, you're a lucky girl. Because if it wasn't for you,
I'm the lucky one, man.
I would be all up in that. In this guy. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's been good. We got one of the 2 things that we really wanted, so that's okay. But anyway, yeah. I mean, that's basically it right now. You good?
Sir.
You got any parting thoughts? No.
My only parting thought is Redskins football. Woo!